Ladies and gentlemen, I have returned. Yeah, my bad. In the last video, I said I wouldn't be posting again for a while, but I lied because Doom the Dark Ages is just too damn good. I've always enjoyed the Doom series, but I've never gotten the platinum for any of them, mainly because the last two have had really crappy online modes that nobody plays, so I'd have to boost all the trophies, which just kind of seems like a hassle. But this time around, the devs just focused on the single player experience, and I am certainly not complaining, because the end result is absolutely amazing. Doom the Dark Ages consists of just 29 trophies, which is by far the lowest we've seen so far, and it basically just came out, so there's no guide for difficulty or estimated completion time, so I'm gonna give my own rating at the end of the video. I'm also playing on Nightmare difficulty, which is the hardest game mode that doesn't involve permadeath. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not dealing with that bullshit today. Alright, let's get straight into it. The game begins with a village known as Kalim being invaded by demons, and the civilians are not having a very fun time right now. The attack is being overseen by a hell priest who doesn't really matter that much, and a mysterious being known only as the Witch, and she is pretty spooky looking. The reason they are attacking is because the humans, led by the Sentinels, have an ancient relic called the Heart of Argent that could give the demons absolute power. Speaking of the Sentinels, let's go meet some of them. The first guy we see is their leader, King Novik, who looks like an absolute gigachad. We also meet his daughter Thera, who is a high-ranking commander in the army, and the Sentinels are currently aligned with the Makers, who are goofy-looking, highly civilized aliens, and they are a shady bunch of individuals to say the least. The Maker featured in this game is this enormous fellow named Bishop Creed, and he has a very powerful weapon ready for deployment.
Launch the Slayer.
Oh hell yeah, put me in, coach. I also have this device on my chest that allows the Makers to mind control me, and that explains the abnormally yellow eyes. Like I said, shady group of people, I don't fuck with them. But after some casual aura farming, we are deployed into battle, and every demon in Kalim just collectively shit themselves. Then I get launched straight into some gameplay, and this game is actually very different from the other ones. Instead of the game making you feel like you're constantly on cocaine just zipping around everywhere, the Dark Ages makes you feel like an unstoppable tank. This mainly comes from the new shield, which can block, parry, and deflect enemy attacks, something that you previously could not do whatsoever. And I personally love this change to the gameplay. The things you can pull off mid-fight are just fucking badass. But for now, my arsenal is very limited. I gotta wait until later in the game to get a lot of the crazy weapons. So basically all I gotta do for this platinum is play through the story and find all the secrets in each mission. And these include collectibles, resources, and other items to help me in my journey. So I gotta be very thorough in exploring these areas. But this first mission is basically just a tutorial, so there isn't too much to write home about. Midway through, I fought my first tougher enemy, that being the Pinky Rider. And this dude becomes absolute fodder later in the game, but for now he's quite tough. Not too difficult though, and after beating him I got access to the Shredder, which is an LMG that shoots spikes. And obviously it's much better at range and dealing with hordes than my shotgun. I ripped and tore through every enemy encounter until I got to the final fight, which has a giant demon 1v1ing a dragon in the background. Yeah, this game is already insane. After punching my way through the enemies, I got onto a turret and cleared some more hordes, but unfortunately the demon swatted the poor dragon out of the sky and is now booking it towards me. But come on, I'm literally him, so I gun down the demon no problem and complete my first mission to get my first trophy. Also, we meet the main villain of the game, Prince Azric, and he looks stupid as hell, I'm not gonna lie. Big ass forehead. But he's actually a pretty good villain. They don't usually go too complex with these villains, but he's definitely the deepest we've gotten so far. He's actually smart too. He literally tells his henchmen to avoid the Slayer for now and focus on the other humans, because he knows damn well if he sends his forces directly against the Slayer, then he's not gonna have an army to command anymore, because they're all gonna be fucking dead. And that brings me to the next mission, which is on Mars. Before the mission starts, Doomslayer momentarily breaks out of the mind control, but the Makers react quick enough and immediately put him back under control. And then they relaunch him, and here we are. And this mission also gives me a new ability to throw my shield at the enemies to stun them or just completely annihilate them. Now we're just going full Captain America on these demons. I almost feel bad for them. But since this is an early mission, there's nothing too insane happening. I get introduced to the shop mechanic, which allows me to buy upgrades for my weapons using primarily gold, but also other resources that I don't have access to just yet. And this is another reason why I need to explore secret areas, because oftentimes they have those required upgrade materials and I need to upgrade everything to the max for the platinum. Also in this mission, I get access to the plasma accelerator. It's basically just an SMG. It's not very good. It ends up being one of my least used weapons in the whole game, but it's solid for now since I have no better alternatives yet. There's also these invisible fuckers, and they pissed me off for most of the game. Like, I'm just minding my own business business killing everything else, only to get blindsided by these dumbasses. Then for the final battle of this level, I encountered my first main boss. It's basically just a souped up Pinky Rider, and he's actually very tanky for my current weapons. I felt like I was just tickling him. But eventually I just zoned him out with my LMG and SMG, and I killed him. And I got myself my first demonic essence of the game, which nets me a trophy. A lot of times bosses will drop these once you defeat them, and this is the first of many, and I will have to get all of them for the platinum. I also got my first weapon upgrade of the game through the shop for another trophy, and that's the end of the mission. And for the next mission, Doomslayer decides to get into a giant mech and just wreak havoc. And I've seen people online kind of shitting on these missions, saying that they're really easy and shouldn't be in the game. And I mean, yeah, they are really easy. Like, if you genuinely die during this, you probably shouldn't be playing video games anymore. Just give up. But these missions only last like 5 minutes, and they're just a fun change of pace. Plus, it's just pure aura farming the whole time, so you can't go wrong with that. King Novik's mech also looks badass, man. Everything that guy does is cool. I want to be him when I grow up. But the point of this mission is that there's a huge bomb that's going to go off and destroy everything, so I have to secure it and then dispose of it. And of course, Doomslayer has his own unique way of dealing with these kinds of situations. When I defeat the last demon, I drag him to a cliff, shove the bomb into his mouth, and then kick him off. And yep, I can personally confirm the problem has been solved. The explosion is still really big, so the Slayer has to hitch a ride on this aircraft to get away. And that's the end of the level. I don't care what anyone says about the gameplay, I love these missions. I definitely don't want an entire game of this, God no, but it's fun when it comes around once in a while. The next level brings me to a medieval castle, and the demons are closing in on the Heart of Argent, so I gotta stop that real quick. In this mission, I get one of the more fun weapons in the game called the Pulverizer. It's really good at clearing massive hordes of squishy enemies, but it doesn't do too much else. Still, it's one of the most satisfying guns to use, and I oftentimes whip this thing out for fun, even though it might not be the best for the situation. I also got the Impaler, which is a DMR that shoots spikes. It's probably the most reliable weapon in the entire game. It one-shots mid-tier enemies to the head and also melts through bosses' HP bars. And when this mission comes to a close, I get to test it out on one. This time it's the Vagina Champion. Spits poison all over, which actually melts you if you're not paying attention. His armor is immune to everything except deflected attacks. So once you get through his armor, it's all downhill from there. Look at the damage. This is from an unupgraded gun too. Imagine what it does when it's maxed out. Light work, no reaction, mission complete. And the next mission somehow finds a way to be even cooler. It starts with Doomslayer holding a torch, which he uses to light a ring on fire. Okay, that's cool. I wonder what that's for. Oh, not much. Just his pet dragon. Fully equipped with mounted machine guns too. Oh man, this guy is too cool. Even the dragon knows how to aura farm. Doom Guy taught him well. The dragon missions have also received scrutiny by fans, and I think these are slightly more justified. You spend a lot more time on the dragon than in the mech, so the awe of flying around kind of wears off after a while, and the dragon combat isn't particularly great either. But I was still able to thoroughly enjoy the spectacle of these levels, and this one in particular requires me to destroy enemy ships because they have found the Heart of Argent and are now completely invading the castle. I got a new weapon, that being the Plasma Cycler, and this is like the Accelerator's big brother, and in my eyes, unless I miss something about these weapons, it completely outclasses it. If I needed plasma, I used this thing, not that bum-ass Accelerator. I also got the iconic Super Shotgun this mission. Hell yeah. This is also definitely better than the normal shotgun, but I still found myself sometimes using the OG, unlike the Accelerator. But the Super Shotgun is insane at tank busting. You just have to get really freaking close. Speaking of which, the final fight of this level was massive. It throws a lot of the hardest enemies you faced up to this point right at you. And the Super Shotty and the Impaler were instrumental in getting me through this. And we're also getting to the point where some of the previously tough enemies are now absolute jokes. The mission ends with the Slayer getting blocked off from Prince Azric due to the witch's magic as they obtain the Heart of Argent. But right before they do, King Novik intercepts them, and he has a contingency plan. You can just call him Batman while you're at it. He orders his troops to blow up the entire castle and bury the demons. He then throws a flashbang at Azric, takes the Heart of Argent, and gets the hell out of there. The absolute balls on this man. I will never be as cool as him. The makers also saved Doomslayer from being flattened, so rare maker W, I guess. And I get a trophy for finishing the mission. Since King Novik clutched up at the last second, the demons are not very happy with him, so they launch a full assault on his castle. Also, Doomslayer once again breaks free of the mind control, and this time the makers can't reel him back in. Let me just say, if I was a maker and this scenario was happening in front of my eyes, I was gonna say I'd shit myself, but it would probably be much worse than that. I don't really know what I would do. But he's on the verge of breaking through the shield completely and then killing everyone on the ship. And to prevent this from happening, they just launch him into battle one last time. On one hand, it's awesome that he broke the mind control, but I'm gonna miss him getting dropped from the heavens into every single mission. It was really cool. When I land, I get another upgrade, this time time to my melee, my fist gets swapped out for a flail, and this thing is just so much more satisfying to use. And this mission as a whole actually ended up being my favorite in the entire game. It's the first of a few open world type missions. They're all pretty similar. The basic format is that there are battles all over a huge map, but you can tackle them in almost whatever order you want. But for this one in particular, I really like the setting. It just looks really nice, and the big castle looming over everything is just sick. I also get another GOAT tier weapon, which is the ball and chain. This might just be the best gun in the game. It's either that or the impaler for me. It shreds armor and beats the piss out of the enemies. It's the main weapon I use to 1v1 tanks and bosses, and it's also definitely the coolest gun out of them all. You could probably beat the whole game using just this gun. It's actually that good. There were some very tough encounters during this mission too. It introduced a new type of fight where there's a boss, but it takes no damage until you kill basically everything else in the area. And let me tell you, it is so satisfying to just beat the bricks off the boss once you get the meter down, because they've just been pestering you like the whole fight and you can't do shit about it. It's like that kid at the playground that calls time out when he's about to get tagged. Don't be that guy. Please, I beg you. During this mission, I also fully upgraded my shield for a trophy. You get a cutscene showing an allied mech getting completely diffed by a demon, and then it gets thrown into the castle, breaking its shields and allowing the demons to completely flood through. Bro, come on, you had one job. I just killed like 20 of these dudes a few missions back. It's so easy. How do you actually fuck this up? Don't worry though, the next mission picks up right where the last one left off, and I get to kill the demon from before using a turret. Guess I gotta do everything around here. Not too much really happens during this mission, but the final boss is pretty cool. It's just a normal enemy, but now he's super armored. And it's actually an intense fight because this enemy type is super melee based, but he normally doesn't have much health, so dealing with them usually isn't an issue. So this was a fun change of pace. Can't spend too much time on this though, because Azric is about to murder my boy, but unfortunately the witch knocks the Slayer off the platform before I can make the save. And Azric takes the heart of Argent, but it's actually empty inside. King Novik really might be the MVP of this game. Azric legit cannot get one up on this guy, because even as he's about to kill him, the Slayer comes from behind, now piloting the mech that got downed before, and something groundbreaking happens. Doom Slayer speaks. Yeah, I don't remember if he ever spoke in the other games, but having his only voice line be run is very fitting. And with his help, King Novik is able to once again escape Azric. This dude is literally a cockroach. I don't think he can die. Not much happens in this next mission either. In fact, after that last cutscene, the story dies down for a little bit. I really do like the location of this level though. I'm a sucker for heavily wooded areas in my games. Just give me a nice densely packed green forest and I'm locked in. This level also gives me the grenade launcher, which I think I've used a total of 2 times throughout the game. It just doesn't seem very good. The final boss of this mission is also a new enemy. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm gonna just call him the Agadon Champion. That sounds right to me. I think it sounds cool enough. This is a really solid 1v1. This enemy is perfect for this game's combat system. It's like a dance between him and the Slayer. Bro is literally a Dark Souls boss, and killing him nets me a trophy to end the mission. Actually shit on. And the next level also doesn't really have anything too crazy in it until the very end. It takes place in an abandoned mineshaft, which is a cool setting. It feels different from every other level, but at the end the Slayer meets Thera, and within her she has the power of an ancient god. Where the fuck did that come from? And she uses it to enchant the Slayer's shield, which gives me both a trophy and a whole new set of shield upgrades. Through the device that's still in the Slayer's chest, Bishop Creed rats out their position to Azric because, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the makers are dirty fucking traitors and have been secretly working with the demons behind everyone's back. Who could have possibly seen this coming? Definitely not me. And a big final battle ensues. Of course though, the Slayer has no issues tearing through the horde, and I kill the boss, which is just a slightly souped up mancubus, and the mission ends. Fuck you, Bishop Creed. We cut to the 2 biggest bums to ever walk the face of the earth, Azric and Creed having phone sex, and then Azric is like, that Thera girl is pretty strong. I want that ass. Then the witch tells Azric to resurrect her god as his part of their bargain together. I wonder if we will see said god later. I got the rocket launcher at the beginning of this mission, and it seems to just be a direct upgrade from the grenade launcher, mainly because you don't have to worry about the projectiles bouncing all over the place. It's just way more convenient. During this level, I completed my first weapon mastery challenge for a trophy. Basically, when you upgrade a weapon to the max, it unlocks a mastery challenge for that weapon, and there's a trophy for completing every weapon's mastery challenge, which, spoiler alert, is the last trophy I'm going to be popping today. Next mission is another dragon level, and it results in Thera getting captured by a mysterious tentacle through a portal. And look at this absolute fucking sleazeball next to her, acting like he didn't cause this shit. it. Doomslayer tries to follow them, but misses the portal by a split second. Oh, hell no. I can't let them do me like that again, especially not this prick. Next mission, I fought a new boss who was a goddamn Komodo dragon. I didn't know those guys were in hell. Killed him, got a trophy for it, upgraded one of my shield enchantments to the max for another trophy, and then got the legendary BFG, or actually it's a crossbow in this game, so BFC, big fucking cock. And this is the actual most broken weapon in the game, but you only get a few shots with it, and ammo is exceedingly rare. It's basically just a get out of jail free card that should be used sparingly. I personally try not to use it at all during the playthrough just to up the stakes a little bit. I think the BFC is the coward's way out. And at the end of the mission, the portal tentacle shows itself once again, and this time it's fully revealed to be what I think is actually Cthulhu himself. In the game, they call him the Old One, but that's literally Cthulhu, bro. You can't fool me. But no matter what the enemy is in front of us, we still got a job to do. So Doomslayer hitches a ride on it, and he gets warped to a different dimension. And completing this mission also gives me a trophy. And now we are stuck in what is known as the Cosmic Realm. And this place is cool. It has some classic enemies from the older games redesigned to match the Lovecraftian vibe of this realm. We got the Barons, who are the most aggressive enemies in the game, bar none. These dudes just want to throw hands the whole time. We also got the iconic Cacodemons, literally looking like the brain of Cthulhu from Terraria. Hey, I don't know if this is a hot take, but I actually wouldn't mind an entire game of Doomslayer just slaughtering some cosmic eldritch beings. That would be peak. I know the Slayer hates the demon specifically, so I'm not sure how they'd make it make sense, but it would just be a cool experiment. I played a couple missions in this realm, just vibing out, killing demons, got a couple of new weapons. The first is the Ravager, which is a ridiculously fun weapon, actually. It shoots really slow at first, but then gets faster and faster the longer you hold the trigger down, and eventually it just melts everything. I also got the Dread Mace, and this is a melee weapon that gives you one really powerful attack, so you can't do combos anymore, but the raw damage this thing does is ridiculous. I never switched it out. And I also got a trophy for upgrading all my melee weapons to the max. But then at the end of the level, Cthulhu just ruins my day, and he swallows the Slayer. And while this may seem bad for the Slayer, everyone who's played God of War 3 knows that nothing good happens for Titans when they eat people. So in the next mission, I destroy his heart from the inside, and he just straight up dies. Bad move, dude. You fucked up. Then I find Thera, who is stuck in quite the conundrum here, and I try to free her, but the ancient god that's linked to her touches the Slayer and instantly incapacitates him. Then to make things worse, the three amigos pull up, and Azric completely unmasks Doomslayer. Yeah, buddy, I feel your pain. I'd be mad too if I got tricked by this dumbass. He's just such a pussy, bro. Look at him. Then the witch steals some power from the god, puts it into the heart of Argent, and then Azric absorbs it. Big explosion and cut to black. Nah, bro, this is crazy. Azric literally hopped to an ancient, inaccessible realm just to dodge King Novik. If he was there, I know he would have clutched up for the squad for sure. I'd bet the house on that. But now that Azric got one minor win, he thinks it's time to do some aura farming. And now we see that all combining with the Heart of Argent did was make him shirtless.
It's fucking lame.
The Slayer then wakes up to find himself trapped in an energy bubble that's being powered by 3 Cthulhus. How the hell are there 3 of them? Where in the world did they come from? I thought it was just the one. But there's literally no way out of this, so the Slayer can do only one thing. Remember earlier when I said that if he rips the Maker device out of his suit, then there's going to be a massive explosion that kills everyone? Well, that comes into play here, because Doomslayer has balls of titanium and he's done with the bullshit. The explosion goes off and Slayer falls into a pit of toxic sludge and dies. Unfortunately for the enemies though, the Slayer still has a job to do, and not even death itself will stop him from accomplishing his mission. So I'm literally a zombie now, and I also go into berserk mode for the first time. And this is a really fun addition because it gives me infinite ammo and I do way more damage than usual, so I just stomp everything in my path. But it's a limited time power up and they only put a couple in each mission, so I gotta savor it while I can. But since the Slayer is dead, in order to progress further into the mission, I need to pay a toll to this Hell Priest, and I don't have the requirements to get through, so I have to— oh, never mind, that man is dead now. And after going through some very challenging encounters, Doomslayer makes it to a ship and drives it right through the gates of hell. And it is here where I get a trophy appropriately titled Too Angry to Die. Then I wake up in a dead forest, swim into a pool of blood, get resurrected into the mortal world, and it's time to get my revenge. And also, I changed my mind. I said before that an earlier mission was my favorite in the game, but no. It's definitely this one. First of all, the actual gameplay of this level is very fun. It's another open world type mission. A lot of very fun encounters and boss fights as well. One of those fights resulted in me reaching max health thanks to the demonic essence, and the same thing happened with armor. But now the real reason why this is the best mission in the game. Suddenly my dragon arrives on the map, and when we take off I get a new objective. Oh yeah, it's finally time. After absolutely obliterating these stupid maker drones that held me captive for I don't even know how long, I make it to none other than Bishop Creed. I've never felt more joy in my entire life than during this very moment. And I also get the most satisfying trophy in the video. This felt better than the platinum. But now with one member of the big three dead, it's time to deal with the other two. And Azric is still just aura farming. Is this really all my man wanted to do with this Heart of Argent? Before we get to him though, I had to go through one last mech mission. And it still hasn't gotten old yet. I fuck with these missions. And since the Slayer's mech is still damaged from earlier, I get to use King Novix. Hell yeah, I get a badass cape now. After plowing through the enemy's defenses, it is revealed that Azric resurrected and cyberized the Cthulhu that I killed earlier. But have you seen my mech? It has a cape. I can't lose. I'm too fucking cool. Hell yeah. With that out of the way, it's time for the fight against Azric. The two biggest aura farmers in the universe, only one can remain. And this fight is really, really good. Azric has a lot of quick combos that constantly tripped me up. This fight makes you use all the mechanics of the game that you've learned up to this point to beat him, and that is a textbook great final boss. Except just when I thought I beat him, he counters my last attack and stabs me right in the gut. That looked like it hurt. And he's about to finish the job too, but then my boy comes from out of nowhere and lights his bitch ass up. Oh yeah, it's on. Dragon versus demon. Let's go. Oh my god, this guy is worse than Bishop Creed now. Now the battle is actually over, but Azric is still alive, but now he just doesn't have the power of the Heart of Argent anymore. Instead, King Novik gives it to Thera, and now she can fully use and control her powers. And with one last sign of respect to my good friend, the mission ends and I get a trophy. And now there's only one mission left, and during this I get a shit ton of trophies. I found all the Codex lore pages, all the shield enchantment upgrades, completed every mission challenge, found all the toy collectibles, and got every demonic essence ammo upgrade, which also popped another trophy trophy for getting every demonic essence of all kinds. It was also during this mission where I figured out the power of the Ravager plus Berserk mode. Everything in front of me just gets absolutely shredded. This is so fun to use. S tier combo. I would highly recommend doing this. And then came the final battle between Doomslayer and both Azric and the Witch. And this fight was also very good, just as good as the other Azric fight, I'd say. After a little while, I got the upper hand on the Witch and removed her from the equation. And after a second phase with just Azric, I whooped his ass too, and that's the end of the game. The Witch tries to blindside the Slayer last second, but that completely backfires, and she ends up getting cut clean in half by his shield, and only one remains. Azric, fully beaten now, starts raging, and then the Doomslayer murders him in cold blood. And with Azric dead, it's now the Slayer's turn to start aura farming again. The Sentinels live to fight another day, and at the very end, it is revealed that the Slayer completely took over the Maker's ship and is now going to fight the demons on his own. I expected nothing less from my boy. And the credits then roll. But I still have one trophy to complete all the weapon mastery challenges, which I ended up doing most of them in the story, but there were a few guns that I just didn't use that much, so I had to farm them a little to get them done. And this took only about 30 minutes. There's a gigantic battle at the start of mission 20, so I just repeated it over and over again until I got the last trophy, followed by the platinum. Wow, what a game. This is definitely game of the year for me right now. And this is also for sure my favorite game in the Doom series, and I'm open to doing the other two platinums at some point in the future. And also, since there's no guide yet, I promised I'd give you my own rating. I'd say that if you're playing on normal mode, it's like a 2 or 3 out of 10, but since I was playing on nightmare mode, I'll bump it up to a 4 or 5. And if you decide to play on one of the permadeath game modes, it easily goes up to like at least an 8. It also took me 24 hours to complete, so I'll put it in the 20 to 30 hour range depending on how good you are, and probably even less if you just skip the cutscenes. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Elden Ring Night Rain video dropping next, so be sure to tap the bell so you get notified when that releases. But other than that, have a good one. Take care. Get out of here.